Okay, now let's go ahead and get our camera in the scene here, and then we can start rendering through Fry Render here. Let's just click our camera shape, and as you can see, it brings in our camera. Let's go ahead and look through our camera, our Fry Render camera. Scroll back to where we can get our glass in the scene here. That should be good. Now what you want to do here for your camera settings to control depth of field, so as you take all the noise out of your render, is just simply create, any object. I'm just going to use a polygon sphere here, and as I can see right now it's about 11.75 grid spaces away from the camera, but we don't want it to render just right here. We want it to be able to render, say, to where the back of this shape is here. So I'm just going to move this back till, say, it's like right behind the polygon cylinder that I extruded, and we'll leave it right there, but we'll remember this number here. It's 33.155. So let's go ahead and select our camera, go into the attributes for it, scroll down until we see the depth of field tab, turn it on, and we want to set the focus distance to, say, we'll go about 40. I'm just going to add a little bit extra, and we'll put the f-stop here, say at like 20. This way it's going to capture a lot of the detail that's in this glass, which we'll go ahead and set up the materials here in a bit, or in the next lesson. And with that done, let's just go ahead and hit render, and it's gonna take a minute here to launch Fry Render. And there you go, it's bringing our scene into Fry Render here. And as you can see, all our light controls are right here down on the bottom. And as you can see, there's our glass, which doesn't look like it's touching the ground, but we can go ahead and change that. And it's going to render out to 20 passes. At pass 1, this is going to take a little bit, so I'm going to pause the video until this renders out our 20 passes, and then I'll come back. As you can see, we have hit our 25 passes here down on the bottom, and that has stopped our render, and that's what we wanted it to do, so we could see where our lights look like, and we can go ahead and start adjusting to see if our lights are going to work the way that we have them set up. But with our depth of field set up and all our lights set up, you can see that there's pretty much no noise in our scene already, and that's good. So we know it's going to render if we, say, let it render overnight or let it render for a couple of hours. We know that there isn't going to be any noise in our scene, and that's what we want. So in the next lesson, we'll go ahead and set up our materials here for all of our objects in our scene, and then we'll go ahead and do our full render.